Alright, here's a skip. The government signed the TPP, formerly TPPA agreement, on behalf of New Zealand, behind about 3.8 New Zealanders' backs as far as I'm aware. Definitely behind the backs of the general public. I don't even know if the Parliament was aware of it, but we gotta tell Parliament to say no. That's our last chance to stop this thing from affecting and most likely hurting New Zealand. We want to be GE free, or at least have warnings on our food. Those companies will sue us for that if they get their TPP signed in by all members of Parliament. We want to be smoke free by some year? Not a chance. Tobacco company will sue us. You don't believe me? I've got the article about how they tried to sue Australia for putting just plain packaging on cigarettes. And hopefully, if the Lord wills, I'm going to post the link below. All that I know is that I am officially blowing whistle on TPP and on the Prime Minister, as far as I'm aware, someone in national government signing it anyways. And the fact that we need to tell Parliament no before it's too late, if it's not too late already. We need to have public outcry. We need to flood their letterboxes with letters about this submission. We need to call them from phones if we have the credit, or if we live in Wellington. We live close enough in Wellington, and we have the time if the Lord permits. We need to go visit our local Parliament office and talk to any one of our MPs that, you know, we think might listen. And you know what? Fact of the matter is, I've seen this guy, John Key. He's a good guy, right? He's doing the best he can, as all governments do. He's got quite a strong will. He's like me. If he really, really wants something, he will push for it. He doesn't care what anyone else says, anyone else thinks. He will go and do it behind people's backs. That's my bad side. Well, I'm trying to work on that one. Well, I mean, God is helping me with working on that one, right? But all the same, there are certain things that I don't think I'd be allowed to do, that I do. Anyways, sometimes I tell people about it, sometimes I don't, or sometimes I'll not tell my dad. And because I know he would never let me get it done, or I think that. I think that's the same mentality our government is using. And sometimes those decisions turn out to be, well, good, but you could have done them better. Sometimes they turn out to be disastrous. And it's just a good thing that the one time my dad did catch me about to do something really stupid and stop me. I mean, I'm sure God let it happen. Won't get into that too much. Long story short, it saved me $500. Well, this might save the government anywhere from some smaller number of zeros behind it, to $5 billion, or who knows how much dollars, you know? So, the fact of the matter that he's got caught is a good thing in this instance. And only God knows what's going to happen. This poor guy, he's ruling the country, right? Well, with the help of the rest of Parliament. I hope that the rest of Parliament doesn't just kind of, you know, shake hands and agree with him, or they're selling out our country's future. You want to feed those starving kids with the Kiwi campaign? Well, then don't get at risk of being sued by big, large companies that will sue you for putting GE labels on packaging for already, and for being a peaceful country and not, you know, necessarily being into having gun market. You don't want to have to you know, worry about people like the porn company having laws against them spamming people because it harms their business. Okay, that might be a bit stretched, but there are American porn companies that are harming children because they put porn on the computers in the library. America had to pass a law in their library, or the library had to adopt a policy, I don't remember, against porn. And if the government is going to take measures to protect children's eyes from that stuff, and say the porn industry says, oh, it's damaging our profits that children can't see us, or that adults in the same place as children can't see us, we're going to sue the U.S. government. And now we can because we're a corporation. Yeah, U.S. is signing this agreement too. And the only ones, as far as I know, that can say no are the New Zealand Parliament. We're our last stand for just, decency and human standards of moral living in the world for these 12 countries that are going to sign. There's America, I think Chile, definitely New Zealand. I heard Japan is key in this deal because it'll be the Asian people, and yeah, they're excluding China. I don't know if they're excluding China without China knowing, or if China has decided not to opt in because they know their government will lose control if corporates can sue them for making something illegal that is based from a corporation, which I'm sure they do on on an everyday basis. They make Spider-Man illegal, if it was just Spider-Man 2, I don't remember. But, that would have been made by a corporation. They make drugs illegal. That's made... They could very easily try to become a corporation in the drug industry and push for laws to make it legal. And we don't know how far this corporation-state government thing can go. So the fact that China is not part of the agreement probably is a good thing for them. Means they still will have control of the country if this thing gets through. I mean, the other agreements with free trade, they were that a government could sue another government if a corporation's profits were harmed. But the corporation could not sue them themselves. That's between at least Australia and Hong Kong. Now, these new rules say that the corporation themselves can sue a government. Can you imagine what degree of control rich, greedy, giant corporates will have over our world? I thought I should blow the whistle and expose these people like Pharmac and, Monsanto and cigarette company for what they're doing, because as it is, today I might just be on medication and I might not be able to blow the whistle tomorrow if they actually get their way with me. These pharmacies get me on prescription for life or even for more years if I'm willing to live that long. See, I don't have to go and kill myself. Probably just the will to live, and I'm exhausted. And I don't get healed spiritually like the other times before. I mean, hopefully, prayerfully, God will give me the strength and the reason and the hope, and I will. If I lose hope for this world and for my ability to impact it even as much as God helps me and permits me to do so now, that's just one more reason not to live for me. And I don't have to commit suicide. All I can do is just, if I really get that way, I can sleep and not wake up. I mean, I'll be sleeping plenty if I'm on med. No, I'm not going to willingly go on medication. I'm sorry. Those things are designed to treat symptoms and not to cure. They can't cure my depression over a, messed up world. A lost world. A world that is getting more and more evil and corrupted every day. They can't cure my fact that I can't ignore that when I do care. And that I feel like it's my duty as a Christian to fight this sort of evil influence on our world. They can't, they can't give me a pill that will fix the way I think, the way I feel, based on real facts that I see in the world, in the spiritual realm, that the medication does not take away, by the way. I've been on 4 antipsychotics, none of them take them away. And no, I do not want to go on a cocktail. Even if I chose to try and keep living. What's to say a medication wouldn't so badly affect my health that I did die? I mean, if I'm left up on Ward 27, and they don't have vegan food, I'm not eating. I'm sorry. No, I'm not going to willingly put pills into my stomach, or, for that matter, bad food. Good for everybody else, but bad for me. It makes me sick. And what's more, it's unethical reasons. I'm not going to give up my faith because people try and make me do it, essentially. I'm saying you've got to compromise. My faith does not include the word compromise. I do not have a back button. Sorry, no. I don't have any other functions besides stop, slow down, if I even can, and go. And slow down has been missing lately. They're trying to make me slow down. But personally, I think it's the devil's attempt to paralyze me, so I can no longer blow whistles on greedy corporations, on dangers of other religions taking over our countries, like America being taken over by, you know, Islam, because they can't actually fight ISIS. If they fight ISIS, there'll be other terrorist groups that might get in with ISIS. There will be other possible countries. You realize how much the world is Muslim? If they all decided to fight America, we'd be wasted. And, you know, fact of the matter is, America just signed a deal with Iran, and we don't know if that's final or not. They're trade partners with Saudi Arabia, and we don't know if that'll stay in the future. Or with Israel. There's so many Muslim countries, and if you fight a Muslim country, the only option is to surrender, become Islam. If you surrender, I got it wrong. If you surrender, your only option is to either become Islam, have Christians and Jews only, with all the other religions exterminated or converted to Christianity, Islam, or Judaism, and the Christians and Jews pay head tax. They live a life worse than death. Everyone flees the country, or everyone who's left in that country and not Muslim, not Christian paying head tax, not Jew paying head tax, dies. And lately, our Muslim persecutors have not been giving us the options to pay head tax. They have just been saying convert to Islam, run away, or die. And lots of us have been dying. There was 200 million Christians known across the world. I don't know if that's that anymore or not. There was a time later on that I heard there was 100 million Christians in the world. And while some have been pressured to quit faith, a lot, I think, is either, they've either died, or they've gone deeper underground, maybe, and we don't know where they've gone. I mean, where can one go in that area, but God can protect us all. Look, Pharmac does not treat anything more than symptoms. I'm flexing. The Pharmac is designed to treat symptoms of problems that are deeper than clinical imbalances in the brain. Imbalances in the brain can be caused by many different things. There's been no scientific proof that brains are imbalanced to start with. In fact, there's been more proof that the psychiatric medications do more imbalancing to the brain than the brain ever had before. And that drugs, if there was an imbalance, would not fix it. There's a private psychiatrist who will not give his patients medication in New York because he realizes that it actually inhibits the frontal lobe functions. And with these functions inhibited, people don't care as much. They say they feel great. They're not getting better at their marriage. They're not getting better at their responsibilities. They're not even getting a job held down. They're not doing anything. In fact, they're probably living a very lazy and careless life. But they feel better. So therefore it must be better. Kind of like having a lot of careless sex with a lot of people, not worrying about condoms, and not worrying about whether you're going to get STIs or not. Or pregnant, for that matter, for a woman. And, you know, if a man makes you feel good enough, well, must be a cure for depression. Yeah, right. Whatever. That's what the Illuminati might subliminally message us to think. Give yourself over to sex. It's actually been found in some backtrack of some song, along with worshiping the devil being suggested. Like, what's their deal with the devil? What's their deal with sex? Why can't people decide what they want? Sex, whether they like the devil, without being subliminally messaged and brainwashed by the cartoons and education in the media and in schools to like Satan? Why can't they figure out for themselves whether they're ready for sex or not? Especially when teenagers, you know? I heard that it can stunt growth. I'm not sure, this is just my dad's opinion, but that's one teenager's kind of sex and thinks it stunts their growth. Like, emotionally and mentally. I don't know what it does, because I never had sex with a teenager. Well, there was a time I got defiled by a with one time, like, it was more once, but it was one incident that happened, and just, I'm praying, please God, make stop. And I'm seeing Satan sadistically laughing and watching me, sitting on some chair on my right next to my bed, and some demon sitting next to him on another chair, like close by my bed on the right as well, sadistically laughing. And while this other demon, yeah, I actually saw a paint going. I was 14. I wasn't diagnosed with schizophrenia. And I wasn't, thinking about these things. I didn't preoccupy my mind with thoughts of sex and rape and stuff. I didn't preoccupy my mind with thoughts of demons. In fact, I was thinking about something totally different. I was in the middle of an imagination, imagining something that I thought I liked and never associated with demons. I was in a whole other cartoon kind of brainwashed fake world. And so stuff like that never occurred to me. And I just felt this kind of physical scratching down there. And felt like something was going in. I'm like, what's going on? And I was like, no, what's going on? Or something like that. The fact of the matter was, just before I got into fortune teller, which I didn't connect those two either, because I never read the bit in the Bible which says don't go to mediums to get defiled by them. Which I read in my Bible after the incident. Well, a good deal after the incident. And then I thought, I don't remember if I connected it, but I remember I had gone to the medium, so I said, oh, sorry, Lord. It could have been up to 13 years that memory was locked away, just like any ordinary kind of trauma that's just that hard and that bad. And I remember another time, Bella made me feel like I was getting raped. I thought it was illusion. I wasn't sure, and I asked God, and then I thought I heard a voice that I had not been raped. Like, telling me I had not been raped. So, I was like, phew, great silence. It was really... No, looking back on it, when this memory came back from when I was 27, I was like, well, what about that time? That time they actually went in. The penis did go in, and I felt like it was getting raped. What about that time, God? And I challenged him on it. I mean, I questioned him. And so, yeah, I challenged God in heaven up there. You know? Creator of heaven and earth. What about that time? It's like, I was wondering if I even heard him right. The first time he said I hadn't been right. So, he showed me Dinah's story in the Bible. Actually, in fact, my she had been defiled. And then said, don't go to mediums to be defiled by them. Oh. So, while I might have said no, yelled no, or prayed, please make it stop over and over again, my actions had said yes. So I've been defiled, not right, technically speaking. Was still full intercourse, and it made it more shameful because my actions had said yes. However, I didn't know this at the time. I didn't know that if you get your tarot cards read without money, you're expected to pay in sex to demons. No, I did not know. No one ever told me that. No one ever warned me about that when I was 14 years old. Sorry. You just don't tell that to your teenage kid. In fact, most people don't know it. Well, there's a lot of people that don't know right now that if we decide to keep our mouths shut and do nothing to try and save our little lives, we might end up living with fates worse than death in this country. New Zealand, America, any of the other of the 12 countries that are signing this deal. And, quite frankly, fear for our lives, we try to save our lives in this instance, we will lose them. We will truly lose our lives. So, by being silent, you're actually saying, yes, I want the TPP or the TPPA to take over my country. Corporates to be able to sue my government and impoverish us all and cause suicide rates to go up among youth and money levers, anybody who's vulnerable mentally. And you're saying, yes, I want there to be a sense of hopelessness and powerlessness in the corporates to rule our lives. Do more. I want to agree with the Illuminati, and eventually, maybe one day they'll microchip my hand. I'm not sure about that. That's what your actions are saying if you're quiet and you've seen this thing and you know it. Do you really want to keep your mouth shut because you have a family, because you have children, because you are just afraid of dying? Look, you can call in the name of Jesus, and I'd say almost everyone can get saved. If not, I don't know. I don't know the rules on that. But probably aside from one thing you do, about everything else you can do will get forgiven. Either way, I think you should call in the name of Jesus and find out whether you can be saved. Find out whether you're, whether you're allowed to receive Him and get saved, go to heaven. And if you did say no on the odd instance, which was very hard to hear if you weren't a Christian anyways, all that I know is that by that point, if you've lost your soul, you've already lost anything. What do you got to live for? You have nothing to lose. You might as well go and be railing against that government. I'm not saying anyone should lose their souls. Far from it. I'm just saying it's already too late for you. Then what's there on here that's going to help you? No, wait, you're probably more scared for your life because you know what's waiting you afterwards. Well, that's sad. Well, you know you're going to heaven for sure. You got every reason to stand against evil, and no reason to fear for your life. Just fear not those who can kill the body and can do no more after that. Fear not those who can kill the body, but they can't kill the soul. That's the thing, I realized. Satan can't actually kill me spiritually. Humans can't kill me spiritually. No one can kill me spiritually. That's a decision between me and God. It says in the next part of the verse, rather fear God, who after killing people, or is it who has the power to throw both body and soul in hell. So, and then it's like after he's killed you, he can throw your soul in hell. I don't remember just like that, but something like that. I know he has the power to throw both the body and the soul into hell. He talks about hell other places too, like you should cut some part of your body off that causes you sin, which I asked Jesus should pluck out my eye. He said no. I think it's more to do with the sin in your life. Either that, or if you meant it literally, it did not apply in my case, because the demon took me in my brain and made my eyes feel like I was lusting after lesbians. I mean, not lesbians, women, as a lesbian would, and men, as a bisexual person would. And at points, even on the medication, when I used to look, I'd see children in their togs, and demons would try and make me lust after them. Of course, I'd never act on it, because there's no way I would sexually even advance on a man or a woman, let alone harm a child. But, the fact of the matter was, it made me ask him, I don't remember at what point, should I get rid of my eye, my right eye? Is it causing me sin? What about my left eye? Is that causing me sin? I'll be blind. But Jesus said no. And so, I was to pray, please forgive me, Lord. I avert my eyes from everywhere and everything. I might have to close my eyes, look down, pray, and say, please help me to see people the way you do. Or even just, please help me see people the way you want me to. And usually that does it. Solves the problem. I remember a couple of times it stopped me from handing out tracts on the street evangelism and just come over to, and it's like, no, I'm no longer fit to be preaching the gospel. Everyone might see that I'm looking at them the wrong place, and, well, they'll point at me and say I'm a bad Christian. No way, I can't do that. I'm not really training good, Can't do that. Gotta stop. So, I'm tangenting. Sorry, guys. So, what really the point is, we've got to stop TPPA, TPP, formerly TPPA at any cost that physically and mentally we might incur. Not at the cost of our souls, but at the cost of our physical lives, at the cost of our mental health, at the cost of being put on psychiatric medication and locked up for life. And I like mad that God somehow preserves our souls, restores our souls, and helps us get through our imprisonment in concentration camps like mental health institutions. Mind you, they're gonna have FEMA camps in America. Those are the real concentration camps. But you know what? We're sedated. We can't move. We can't really do much stuff besides sleep and if we won't eat. Say if we're on medication, we're sedated, we can't do anything. And we're locked in this institution. What are we going to be able to do, and how is that different from being in prison? I mean, we might be able to get away with doing this to terrorists who are going to blow people up, blow things up, to have people in them like buildings. But how can we get away with doing this to citizens that speak out? They get the occasional problem where they yell and they upset people. But you know what? Okay, so I rock the boat. I'm not getting drunk. I'm not going on drugs. I'm not cutting my wrist. I'm not, purposefully physically harming myself. I'm not purposefully physically harming anyone else. And you guys haven't recognized emotional pain fully from the point where you'll put it into the textbooks and on record as the same as physical pain. And you don't even recognize there is a spiritual realm. So, in all honesty, what can you say I'm doing to people? Trauma? You gotta be kidding me. I mess up their day. If someone's really and truly mentally disturbed, I haven't actually seen or met them on the road at the same time and had a yelling match with them. Okay? I mean, if I see someone who looks like they're a mental health patient and seriously disturbed, I do my very best to be, just nice to them. Easy on them. I mean, I don't know what to say, but I mean, I think there's nothing else going to stop the TPP from pushing meds down children's throats in America, if not New Zealand next, and pushing cigarettes even more on the country, and not allowing us to tax cigarettes, and not allowing anything to be done about the smoking problem whatsoever. And then the alcohol industry, they'll have commercials on during kids watching it hours, during teens watching it hours, and these teens are growing up in broken backgrounds. They're probably already being tempted to drink it. Alright? Now they're watching a commercial that's subliminally messaging them to drink it. And if the parents have it late at night, and they're in bed, and they're asleep, and it's loud enough, they will hear it while they're sleeping, just like someone in coma can hear your voice. They'll subliminally message them anyways. We shouldn't have these things on while teenagers are home. And so, but anyways, we can't outlaw commercials on alcohol to any degree if this TPP gets passed. We'll have more of a binge drinking problem with the younger youth, possibly, than we had now. And do you think they're going to let us, make higher bans on drinking alcohol? Hire anything to stop it from being a problem in our already alcohol-driven binge drinking society that's going towards drugs? We can't illegalize a synthetic if it gets introduced to the market. We can't, illegalize anything that, the corporations have managed to already sneak into our country. I don't know if it just affects New Zealand and, well, America, but, I mean, it affects your country. I say Google it up. Look up which countries are signing it. It affects yours. Go yell and make a noise, because you'll live with fate worse than death if that government signs over. Parliament doesn't say no, and, well, your government gets sued by the wrong corporation. Say Monsanto, the people responsible for GE, trying to push their GE products all over the world for the gain of money. Okay, what if, say, there's another organization, it's a cigarette company. What if they end up suing people for taking measures against smoking? Because we all see the evidence is bad for our health, right? We just don't know how to solve the problem of so many people being addicted. So we could put laws on just how many cigarettes are allowed to be just sold to people who are heavily addicted a day. It could be like a quota. If we make a law about that, government might get sued because of stuff. Or it might be you can only smoke when you're not in the country, like New Zealand wanted. New Zealand will never see its dream to be smoke-free in New Zealand if we sign this TPP and the Parliament does not say no. Never. When we take steps towards that, say we want that by 2025, not a chance. The tobacco company will sue us. And so, we've gotta, government needs to see how bad this is. We need to take a stand and make a public outcry, and hopefully people, including corporates, might repent. If they're gonna draft a TPP, or any kind of thing like that, they need to do it with our awareness and be transparent about what is going in that thing. John Key had that thing drafted behind our backs. I don't know how many other government officials were involved. Was it national? Was it other people across the world overseas? You know what? Forget the GCSB. They're not our problem right now. They're a fly compared to this. The GCSB is a corporation, and government decides they don't want them, then we got a problem. But that's probably not the problem. They're probably already government affiliated and with USA. But the problem really is, we lose rights to things, like to speak up about our minds, and have activist organizations closed down, the internet limited, and just every speaker-upper on meds, and every government sued at higher courts that can sue governments because they decided to make just simple laws to make citizens aware of how to protect ourselves from things that are physical health risks. We're not even talking mental health risks yet. Physical health risks. Except with the porn industry in front of children's eyes. And alcohol could have mental side effects, so could other drugs. But that's the thing. And if we can't outlaw certain dangerous drugs from our pharmacies, and keep our vitamins in, people's health will suffer more. There are drugs that cause people to feel suicidal. I was on one of those. I really did feel suicidal, but I might have just been giving in. All that I know is someone actually attempted to take their life 3 times. The 3rd time, they were on that medication that I was on, except they were getting injected in them. Because they wouldn't take it themselves. And they were having a hard life. They thought they were being followed by gangsters, and for all that we know, they were. I never got the chance to meet this guy. He was 23, I was 23. He died. I only met him, if you call it that, in a casket. I saw him in a casket. I was too scared to pray him back to life out loud. I tried praying quietly. It didn't work. I mean, I thought I heard God tell me to pray it louder, you know, and not to pray in my own strength. Pretty much, sure, obey God. I wish people would have been upset. And as best he might have been back alive by now, for all that I know. People have come back from the dead. Even in the 21st century, it's documented evidence of it. And what people do clinical surgery that, you know, brings people back. Like the thing, Claire, you know? I don't know why they couldn't have saved the guy's life with a blood transfusion and electric Claire, personally. I don't know what he did anyways that killed him. But they might have been able to help him. For all that we know. And why didn't they? And why didn't I? Because my dad was right next to me. And at that time I was so scared of my dad yelling at me and what he might say and do to me if I did. I was intimidated. I bowed to intimidation. And we'll never know now whether that guy could live. He was my age. He was on my medication. He killed himself. It was his 3rd attempt. We need to outlaw medications like that so this scenario doesn't happen in the future. We need to outlaw things like risperidone. I don't know the other names of the other drugs on the market. I've only been in the psychiatric system as much as I have for the last 5, nearly 6 years. I'm getting out this year. So, like 5.5 years. A little bit more than that. But you know what? I've been in and out for the last 5.5 plus nearly 6 years. I'm still seeing a psychiatrist today. I'm sure they might make me go on meds. Even if I say no, they might put me under the Mental Health Act. So this might be my last video. And if I eat today, it might be my last meal for a long time. As if they don't see what they're doing wrong and how I really don't want it. I feel better and more free as I am now. And just, you know. See, fact of the matter is, when people say that there is schizophrenia affecting everybody who has spiritual visions and encounters, who get tormented by demons that are to do with the world around them, the past that they're guilty of and don't know they're forgiven from, the past that happened to them that they don't know they're not guilty of, or maybe it was so horrible they haven't been able to get over it. See, I don't have schizophrenia. I'm gifted. I'm sensitive. I feel a lot of pain as a result because I'm one of those people who can't ignore things. If I see something wrong, whether it's just incorrect, like a word misspelled, someone's shirt that is lifted up in the back, a swear word in a text where it should not be, it's not appropriate, or sin being done. I've had the struggle that I can't ignore it. And while most things I try and make myself ignore because I'm too tired to deal with every battle there is out there. You have to pick and choose in these days. When I see something this outstandingly bad as the TPP, or any other problems like the blasphemy problem that Bill is trying to make with the whole world, and everybody unstable, so we have no hope, and we'll just bow to the corporates and do their will. As they say, we can take over the world and make all the religions, except Christianity, of course, one. Well, we might have a fake version of Christianity, which would make it the one world religion. And, of course, all the real Christians will be persecuted really hard. Like, you want to see bad stuff happen. You read the book of Revelation. The whole book. Pray that God protects you, preserves you, helps you to remember and understand what He wants you to, and to know what's true. Please do that if you read the rest of the Bible too. Don't mention any other information intake. Do a disinformation intake to watch this video again. But you know what? I'm telling you. I kid you not. These government corporations... Sorry, these corporations are trying to kill us. They're trying to seduce our governments and deceive governments, maybe with promises of money and better opportunities and more prospects. This is not going to happen for our government. They will become our gods in this country, and if we don't bow down and worship them, they will punish us. It's like any other demonic gods. The love of money is the root of all evil. I kid you not. Don't fall for this New Zealand Parliament, please. I'm pleading with you. Take a very weak, starving child, suicidal teen, undernourished mother, especially the pregnant ones, especially any that have more than one baby in their tummy. Anybody that has a conscience. Anybody wants to know about GE and avoid it. Anybody that is allergic to GE. Anybody that is allergic to, like dairy products and other things that might not be allowed to be listed in food anymore. Or intolerant of such things. For the sake of people that are just, you know, teetering on the edge. People that love money but will not be allowed money because they're not in corporations, whose income they have to take because they're middle class. People have families, little children that they need to have, and whose marriage it might put strain on, or whose relationship it might put strain on, and whose whole household might be put into a state of imbalance and chaos and total unrest, unpeace, no peace. Don't sign this thing over. Don't bow to John Key. You know he's made a lot of bad decisions before, and he's been stopped from a lot of bad decisions. All you guys get together. For the people in the Maori party, particularly, I don't know, but I'm sure. Not fully sure, but I thought I saw a Taniwha on this whole agreement. Okay, I don't normally see Taniwhas because I'm Christian and from a white culture. I was reading about your culture at the time, and that Taniwha can be, I don't remember, is it a sign of death? Or associated with death? Or I don't remember what it was. Please do tell me about it if I'm wrong, but all I'm saying, it does not look good if we sign it over. I'd say get back in whatever you do, because you guys were spiritual culture before us settlers came. You saw that there'd be white people that would come over, as far as I know. You knew there'd be new people. I don't know. Let's say. Please God forgive me. Kakara Manawatoa. I don't know if that means anything in your language, but it's what keeps coming to mind. I don't even know how that's spelled. I've tried to look up Maori and see if it means anything, because my one non-Christian Maori friend thought it meant something like be godly or something. I don't know. All that I know is that you can't go and make alliances with John Key and all good conscience. We have to turn green. We won't have green New Zealand if we do this green. And Labour, you will not have that government that favors the people and the poor and our rights if we do this. No chance. So, another organizations, use your own two eyes and look at the future of our country. All that I know is that, from the history that I've actually studied, not even studied, just heard about the Maori people. They saw this, the settlers coming, and there was a seer that saw this, yeah? And he said that, tell me about it, I don't remember. So something that we had, I don't remember what it was, but they said we had a good God, but that we were still, or that we still would be, I don't remember, a people oppressed. I'm sorry, we've brought our oppression with us. I think we all need to get more into the spiritual realm, if we can, but not the bad way, not into the Satanism and the witchcraft that is, available to everyone, no thanks to the Illuminati putting that in media and occultic symbols everywhere in society in America, which is now flooding into New Zealand. But we should speak with their creator and who he is, what he wants with us, and you know, is TPPA, now TPP, good for our country? I'd say Christians should pray about this. I'd say we should really pray about it before we just vote national again. Well, we may not, as Christians, want Labour. We don't want national either if they're going to do things like this. We're going to vote them out of business either way. Even if it's too late for our country. Never again. Not one more sacrifice. Not one more selling off of ourselves. Not one more violation on our souls and our consciences and our rights. And thing we have to live with, grit our teeth and be oppressed or opposed to our detriment because of what the country might do to us. No, I think what we need to do before it becomes a dictatorship when national being the only one who can rule, with respect to determination, is vote in someone like NZ First, who said, why don't we ask the people what they think about gay marriage? He was the only guy out there to speak with some haters that we have a referendum. He didn't say it was bad or good, he just said, let's ask the people what we think. He thought about us. No one else said it more cleverly and more good. And they said, no, it's too late to have a referendum now, because they voted off the first time. I don't know why. Everyone in that government thought gay sex was good. Putting, the male part into a hole that, defecates. Apparently they don't calculate for risks of unprotected sex and live sperm going with germs. Or, just strains of E. coli. They might make a new virus or a new germ with E. coli if they have unprotected sex. Oh, and they didn't realize that child abuse might go up for the boys because sometimes gay men like to have sex with teenage or who knows how old little boys. I mean, I think it's just girls that are stuck in the free trade of prostitution. I don't know if it's free trade, but I know people are in prostitution as a $32 billion business. And they're trafficked, they're coerced, they're defrauded into it, despite the fact that people think that children, for some reason, who want sex with men. There are 2 million children in sexual slavery. They're as young as 4 at least, and they could be having sex with up to 40 men a day. They could be having sex with 40 men a day. We don't know if the 4-year-olds get this, but it's no less than 20, isn't it? That's what I've heard. I heard it's anywhere from 20 to 40 men a day, 4 to 17 years old. I'm sorry, did you not know this inconvenience? Sorry. Fact. You don't believe me? Look up all the organizations trying to stop sexual trafficking, A21, and just finish arresting them after they've gone through sex. There was a girl rescued who's 6 years old. I know, because I'm in with this organization. I'm not speaking on their behalf, but not trying to, just saying these are facts. And if this industry manages to draft laws that make it legal for child prostitution, as well as adult prostitution, and men purchasing these children, or child porn, or anything like that, well then, let me tell you something. If we try and make it illegal again, the corporation might sue us for making it illegal if we have TPP. How sick is that? You don't want to stop the government from signing TPP? Let's say if you are a child, speak up and sign it. They can't kill all our youth at once, or we'll have no future. And they can't catch it if all the children in New Zealand say no. They can't catch it if all New Zealand parents say no. They can't catch it if all New Zealand people with mental health problems say no. They can't catch it if every teenager says no. They can't catch and single out any one person as the whole public at once cries out no. We'll make YouTube videos and we'll cry out no. I'm not saying you'll get a $28.95 video about it. I'm saying you'll save $28.95 a week at least, if not more, even if you're a beneficiary. Because there'll be no risk for a government getting sued by a corporation. As it was in High Court, it was illegal for the tobacco company in America to sue Australia itself because of the loss of profits, against profits, by making black labeling on white packaging for cigarettes. Make them plain packaging tobacco. Just help me one. What am I saying? Dogs are good. So I gotta go now. But yeah, just remember, white packaging for black writing. Tobacco company will send sue. We're just making it like that. taking out the advertising tempting factor of cigarettes while not actually illegalizing them. Personally, I think that was a great idea. What New Zealand is full of. When we signed this agreement, tobacco company might sue Australia, might sue New Zealand, might sue anyone else who takes stands in its tobacco company. Oh, and try and not let the Illuminati families rule our societies and our lives as much as we can. We gotta oppose them. We gotta oppose them with all we got. Christian or non-Christian, they're doing, or trying to do, by probably 2030, a degree of control on the human mind and life and soul and body and every part of us that they can, that is beyond, reasonable. Beyond what we could handle or cope with if we had our minds. Beyond what we would ever be willing to bow to. I mean, it's kind of like how full-on prostitution with 40 men is beyond what most people, even with sexual fantasies and desire for sex and sexual lust, and want to have sex with everybody, or women, or even men, would want. I mean, it seems that if you're a woman, you like to have sex, all the time, have sex with 40 different men who might beat you. It's just beyond even what you could imagine would be pleasant for your life. It's not something that you'd fantasize about if you got thrown into it. Let's not get thrown into this. Let's not be forced to do more than we are comfortable with as human beings. I don't care who you are. You don't want this. And I'm sure if you don't care, because you've been broken, you think it's already happened. No, don't surrender. Don't give up. Don't just lay down and let this guy take advantage of you. All these corporates go and rape us some more. Let's not lay down and not fight them. Let's cry out for help. Let's cry out for a stop. Make it stop. Parliament, make it stop. Let's fight them with every last we have. I'm not bowing to them. I don't care who you are. I don't care how many gods you worship. You do not want to worship the greedy corporates and their desire for money. And if you don't stop them, they might go and make you do it. I don't care if you worship Satan. Why? Do you think you're going to be immune from the economic poverty that's going to hit everyone else? Especially if you're his favorite. You might get taken care of. Oh, Satan's a ripoff. He tells you Satanism is about getting what you want, crushing anyone in your way. Let me tell you something. If you don't have the strength to crush the person in the way, you can't get what you want. If you want eternal life, well, he doesn't have that on offer. Sorry. It's not available. You might say it does. He says there's a party in hell. I've seen hell. They're ripping the flesh out of people's backs. Does that look like a party to you? Look like a 9-to-5 shift to me, an eternal one. Boring. Even if you're not scared of pain. Boring. I saw heaven's corner. Sorry, I saw a corner of heaven. So, there's a party, and some guys come out of heaven. You think heaven's for losers? Well, let us decide that. Don't go make the decision for us, and go poison the life out of us by strangling our throats and injecting us with medication. It's one thing to preach your religion to us. It's another thing to brainwash us with it. You won't let us brainwash people, but you do it all the time. They don't hate hypocrites. He's an ordinary person. They hate us Christians for it. And quite frankly, with evolution being taught in schools, and Darwinism being taught in schools, and Satanism being put in cartoons, I don't think the other religions are really doing that much better. If Islam trying to take over the world. We heard conspiracy theories about Zionists, and I think anywhere where it's the majority, most everywhere, the other religions, they tend to get hurt. But, as Christians, we're not supposed to hurt people of minorities. We're not supposed to hurt anyone. If we can help it, we're meant to be peaceful. I'm not hurting anybody. I may be harming profits. But that's like the Maori guy chopping the flagpole. When it doesn't bleed. Well, you might cause blood. Because of how many people love it and worship it. mean, unlike the plague. But money doesn't have nerves. Money doesn't have feelings. People's profit, when they already have plenty of money, not going to really hurt them, is it? Now, I'm not saying go and kill the people, go and seafood their corporations. No, don't do that. Murderers don't have eternal life. No one, everyone have eternal life if they can. And I'll preach to you any times that, you know, I think God wants me to, or it comes up in conversation. Not really, you know, not really going out of my way to. It's as far as who I am. Tell my life history, tell my story. I'm living, walking through the Bible's reality. Now look, I really gotta go. I've gotta get ready for this appointment. My dad's picking me up at 1:30. So, way longer than I mean to. But I am going to put the link and label it for this to come. I really need a man of care and community. And forgive on personal level, by the grace of God. And pray anyone too can be forgiven. That, you know, they get to a point where they do. I mean, well, I can, and I have blood in my veins, life in my body. My front lobes aren't impaired. I'm gonna fight with all I can. I'm gonna blow the whistle every time I get a chance. See you later. If the Lord wants. Feeling that station there. Just gotta trust God. Trading terms, there's just being mental health hard. It's awful 8 years. Cleaning up my life. I talked about it, right? Last time something got worse for me was 8 years ago. It's been just about since I was 12 and a half, it's been every 8 years. That something bad has happened, and my life has gotten worse. So, only God knows. I don't know. Well, you can get me through it. Deep down, I know I'll be alright. I'll be in heaven one day. Well, I gotta do this now. I had nothing to lose. I'm about to be in the middle of health. I'm really thirsty. Tie down a straitjacket, really getting raped every day by staff, and not even able to so much as complain because I'm too sedated to get out of bed. Just did things and just did talk. Dribbling. My speech, my mouth might not be able to speak off food. I have no idea what happened. I had to live with this worry the last 3 months. So, I think this might be imminent. I got nothing to lose by making this video. Corporate's claiming they'll be doing a good thing. No, bad because they're murdering me. But I'm half tempted. And if I'm getting raped every day, on meds, can't fight them. Hide down. Can't do anything. Can't make videos. Can't eat because there's no food for me. Because it's vegan. Can't read a Bible. Can't listen to my music. Can't have any kind of fun whatsoever. Any kind of thing helpful. Can't get married. Can't have kids. To a husband. I can't even have kids at all. You know what? That's the end. Isn't it? Got no future hope on Earth. I don't mind making this video. In this time of my life, because I've already lost it all. Lost my life. I had nothing left to live for on Earth. Just to keep my faith. And I take it back. I don't want to cook this for me. Maybe God will get me through this hard time and I will have hope again. But I'm really tempted to see my situation as like nothing who kills me. Or when. No way if we're going to do it. Because everyone else is hurting. You realize the self-destruct song that's on in the background is about people taking money and they destroy the place. I mean, we gotta repent from idols of money. I only found this song a little while ago. I haven't listened to it over and over and over again, long enough to get brainwashed by it. like any of the other songs I do backwards. I gotta go. I really gotta go. Have a nice day. I'll pray for us.